Yeah, you've read the title. And trust me, I am not going crazy. With just 2 minor changes, very easy changes, we could have had a Mazda Speed 3 that rivaled and bit the Evo. Trust me, I'm not going crazy. Let's just get into it. Yeah, I'm on call with a hit or two. No small talk, me and Mr. News, pull up with a flex on the ball at the back. Okay, so let's just cover these 2 changes Mazda would have needed to make. First of all, very obviously, no front-wheel drive car is got to hold a match to the all-wheel drive Evo. Shit. Now, if you don't remember, some videos ago where we talked about what we were disappointed about with the Speed 3, we found out that the normal Mazda 3 had an all-wheel drive option. There was an all-wheel drive system that fitted in the Mazda Speed 3. Fitted? That's not the right wording, is it? So we needed that in it. Now I know you may be saying, the axles aren't strong enough, etc, etc. We kind of debunked all that in that video, so afterwards if you want to go watch that just to hear about it, and you're probably quite interested in it. It's Mazda Speed life, And what's the second one? 260 horsepower is good, but the Evo is just more powerful. And if you don't know, the Mazda Speed 6 has the exact same engine, but with its tune, it puts out 274 horsepower, which is right in line with the Evo. So that's it. If we had that all-wheel drive system from the Mazda 3 with the Speed 6 tune on it, we could have had a similarly priced all-wheel drive Japanese fun sports car that's practical. An Evo Beta. Now let's talk about how the Speed 3 could have destroyed the Evo. Let's talk about how now we could have defeated the Evo. First off, let's start with the more boring one, but it's quite easy. We'll just get it over and done with pretty quickly. The interior. The Evo has got a very ugly, cheap interior with scratchy, hard, cheap materials, and ultimately, it just looks cheap and unsporty, whereas the Speed 3, the design on it is so damn nice. It looks sporty, it looks professional. Now, I know a lot of people think, in a sports car, I don't care about my interior, but trust me, if you're spending a lot of money on your brand new sports car, you don't want a Fisher-Price interior. With that, let's get on to some proper reasons. Now let's talk about the all-wheel drive system. I know a lot of people think, well, the Speed 3's all-wheel drive system has got to be terrible, and I'm here to say not. Now, Mazda's performance all-wheel drive systems are very good. Think about the Speed 6. It is a very aggressive system. It doesn't take much for those rear wheels to engage, and what that results in is a car that doesn't really feel front bias like most all-wheel drive cars do. While the system may not be as complex as the Evos with active yaw control and all that, I'm sure the Evo will be more effective with its four-wheel drive. The Speed 3 still have a pretty damn good system. And with the Evo, all that fancy four-wheel drive active yaw control, that's kinda just a computer making the car go fast. Whereas the Speed 3, it's gotta be up to the driver to make it go fast. So, driver involvement? Driver's car? Yeah. You haven't liked the video? Are you mad, bro? Like the video, surely! God, that was cringe. Now, there is one possible issue with the system. You see, basically everyone in the comments loves the all-wheel drive system on the Speed 6. However, there have been 2 people that say it is quite uncontrollable at the absolute limit. So that can kind of be expected from a lot of on-demand all-wheel drive cars. Even the Mark 7 GTI is uncontrollable at the limit. So, I'm kind of asking, maybe, is there transfer case or diff going out or something? Or the people that are really loving this system not pushing it to the 10/10s on a racetrack? But you see, if you're spending $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on a brand new hot hatch, are you really gotta wring the frick out of it on a racetrack? That's how the Mark 7 GTI is that issue, but no one really talks about it. But let's keep going. Now let's talk about the engine. If you don't know, the Evo's 4B11T is quite uncharismatic. The sound is just like a boosted 4-cylinder, and the power delivery is just like a boosted 4-cylinder. Whereas we look at the MZR in the Speed 3, the way the boost comes in, how quick it comes in, it just creates this really nice charisma about the car. It's like the car is eagering you to put your foot down, get in a boost, and get into a little bit of trouble. It wants you to have fun in it, and it just adds another degree to the driving experience, having that engine talking to you. We've talked about the engine, the all-wheel drive. Now let's talk about another part of the drive, is the steering. Mazdas have really, really good steering. Thanks to all the investment and research they've done with the MX-5, the steering in Mazdas is really nice. It's direct, it feels natural. It's just really hard to beat. And now the Evo does not have bad steering. It's just the Speed 3's steering is so damn good. And then going on from that, let's talk about gearing. Evos have very short gears, which is so fun to drive through. You know, bang gears and all that. But Speed 3s, I don't think I've seen a car with better gearing than the Speed 3. It is unbelievable. It's just perfect where it's long enough that you're not having to switch gears half the time, but it's short enough that you can actually be in the power basically the whole time. And when you're doing drag races and all that, like watch this race. 490 wheel horsepower 370Z versus 400 wheel horsepower MS3. And the Z is only 50 kgs lighter. Now let's talk about the driver inputs. Now what are we talking about here? You know, this is the steering, your gear shift, your clutch, your brakes. Evos are very fun, snappy cars, and that could be really good, but it just adds a level of unsatisfaction to the car. You know, the clutch is a little bit difficult to use, the gear shift is a little bit difficult to use, and the turning circle is horrendous. It is so damn wide, it's ridiculous. With the Speed 3, it is a lot more forgiving, while the gear shift, the brakes and all that are a lot more buttery smooth and they're a lot more satisfying to use. It's just a bit nicer to drive fast in. And the next part, this is all about practicality, it's a hatch. Hatches are so much more practical than sedans. You know, if you're carrying a toilet perhaps because you've got the shits, bang those rear seats down, you've got a whole ass van basically. Just so practical, and hatches look pretty sick, not gonna lie. So now, let's talk about the whole car and why it is so much better. The interior is so nice. It's a hatch, which is more practical. The engine is more charismatic, and for most people, the tuning is much more suitable. The steering is so much nicer to use, while the gear change, the clutch and brakes is so much more satisfying. Just ultimately, as a driver's car, it's a very satisfying car to use compared to the Evo. Add that with a nice interior, more practicality, it's kind of destroyed the Evo. Of course, as with any car, there's always someone that suits one car better than the other, even if it's complete crap. But that is how the Mazda Speed 3 could have destroyed the Evo. If you did enjoy, drop a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.